Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Got another 2025 rookie profile show for you here today. We're going to talk QUINSHON Judkins, running back from Ole Miss that transferred to Ohio State. Is he the RB1 of the 2025 draft class? Well, Jason DiRienzo, my podcast co-host, we're going to break it all down for you. We're going to go over his career statistical profile. We've watched the all 22 film. We're going to give you our scouting report. We're going to give you his draft capital projection. We're going to give you some player comps. So buckle in. If you play Dynasty, you play Fantasy, you're looking for a YouTube channel out there that's going to give you an early look at the 2025 draft class and beyond. Hit that subscribe button. All right, we're going to be doing shows like this all summer long. It is summer scouting season. Got tons of films like this already on the channel and many more on the way. Let's get to the show. All right, Jason, let's get to our QUINSHON Judkins 2025 rookie profile. All right, you and I watched the all 22 films of Penn State and Georgia. Like I mentioned before, guys, we recorded a film breakdown on that. If you want access to that, hit me up on the email or on X, and I'll tell you how you can gain access to that. But it was really good watching the Penn State Georgia games for QUINSHON Judkins. It's going to be a junior next year, going into his third season, 6 foot, 219 pounds. Go over some career production statistics here over 2 years. Man, this guy has been fed the rock 546 times over 2 seasons, averaging 5 point yards a carry, 31 touchdowns, really good ball security. Did not put the ball on the ground once last year with 271 attempts. So the ball security is pretty solid. Yards after contact, just some PFF numbers here to run through them. 3.21. It's about just above average with a lot of the other running backs in college football. Played zone and gap pretty much equally. It looks like pretty equally. His receiving profile, 22 receptions last year, 15 as a freshman, so 37 total with 2 touchdowns. So I think he's got some good pass catching ability. So you and I, we broke down the tape, Jason. I'm going to hand it over to you. I think we both came away pretty impressed with QUINSHON Judkins. I mean, let's face it. I mean, he's been a top Devy asset for quite some time. Arguably, maybe the RB1 of the 2025 draft class. So, what would your overall impressions of QUINSHON Judkins?
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of hard to give to to that I don't give a lot away right now, just kind of going over it. But I will say the number one thing that I came away impressed with is just his overall intelligence as a runner. Like he knows what he sees on the field, he makes quick decisions, and with those quick decisions, you see the lateral footwork that has synergy with what he's seeing. So as he's thinking and making decisions, his feet are already moving, and I love the synergy with that. And you see that because there are limitations within the athleticism. I think he makes up for that with the quick mental processing. So I think his overall like play speed, the synergy between what he's seeing and how his feet are moving is well above average, maybe even near elite, just the way he moves. I just want to see
Ooh.
the offensive line didn't give him too much. He was creative as much as he could be, but you see the functional play strength, you see the tenacity. I think that he's going to be that running back that even if he is, in a collapsing gap, he'll be able to overcome that with the contact balance and physical strength. And we'll go into that a little bit more. But I came away really impressed with what I saw from Judkins. I like the way that he can make up for some of his weaknesses to almost make them look like strengths.
Yeah, I mean, on the scouting report you see on the card here, I mean, he's got that powerful running style, good contact balance. I
Mhm.
think he's a good lateral mover.
Yeah.
Plenty of you know, tape on there of him, pressing the line of scrimmage, laterally moving, reaccelerating, redirecting. His ball security, I mentioned, I think is solid. I think the NFL team's going to love the fact that this guy does not put the rock on the ball, or the rock on the ball, the rock on the ground. There's something to be
Yeah.
said about that. And the only thing I think that we saw, I mean, we saw a good play in the film against that Penn State game where he really laid a lick, inconsistent pass pro, but that's the calling card on a lot of scouting reports out there. And we did see that a little bit on the film as well.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't really have the elite long speed, but I think you and I are in agreement that it's all about short area quickness and acceleration for running backs. And,
Oh
to
yeah.
have the breakaway speed is like icing on the cake. But I don't think that's going to make or break, where he goes in the NFL. So, let's go through our tape grades here. These are the tape grades that we do for these shows. His vision and patience, I gave him a 4. I thought I
Yeah, I
liked
give
what
him
I
a 4 as
saw.
well.
Okay. I think you and I both came away with his ability to find the cutback lanes. He tried to run outside a little bit, some outside, zone stretch plays. Do you think he'd be a better gap runner or like a zone runner?
I actually think that he could play both, but I think gap is where he would thrive.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the work in the interior part of the line
Mhm.
of scrimmage. I think footwork and short area quickness. I gave him a 4. I think, again, for his size at 6 foot, 219 pounds, his ability to redirect, I thought was pretty good. He's in the sweet feet meter area. So
I love it. Yeah, I give him a 3.5 just because, the short area quickness, I think it's 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 average, but the decision making, I think, helps make him look much faster. But the actual like mechanics of the footwork, I just think it's average. Other than that, the footwork itself, when he's into the second level, making moves, making cuts, I love it. And I gave him, basically a 4 in my mind, but a 3.5 made this work.
3 to 5, that's fine. You don't have to agree with me.
That
Acceleration and speed, I gave him a 3. I think, he's not gonna have that long burner speed, but I think he's got enough acceleration and burst within the line of scrimmage to do some damage.
Yep, right there with you. I gave him a 3 as well.
Strength and contact balance, we both gave him 5s, it looks like. The guy is always ending with forward lean. His contact balance is pretty
Mhm.
solid. His elusive rating on PFF on the player card was 86, which was ranked 63rd in college football. But he's one of those bigger backs. He's not one of these scat back, these little guys that are super elusive. But he's going to win with contact balance. He's going to win with strength and functional play strength and physicality. That's going to be his calling card. Receiving, I gave him a 4. I think he's a good pass catcher. I think in the spring game this year, he caught like 6 or 7 balls. So I think he looks very natural doing it. He just wasn't given the opportunity at Ole Miss, whether it probably not going to get a whole lot more opportunity in Ohio State. They don't seem to throw the backs a ton. So, but I think he's an average, he's a above average pass catcher and, not a vertical threat necessarily, but a guy that, you can depend on to make himself available for dump offs and short screens and that type of play.
I gave him a 3, and I think what you just said is perfect. I think he's dependable, but I didn't really get a chance to see how he is as a route runner, going down the perimeter, like anything like that, but I think he's absolutely dependable, so I give him a 3.
Nice. All right. So let's get to his draft capital. Right now you can see, or you can't see if you're listening to the podcast, but he is number 23 overall with a peak of 15 on mockdraftdatabase.com. And he is the RB1 on that site. Does the NFL value running backs enough to take this guy in the first round? I mean, I know he's getting mocked a lot to the Cowboys in the first round, assuming that, maybe they're down in the later part of round 1, but I think he's an early day 2 guy. I'm not sure he's round 1 material. What are your thoughts?
I can't imagine so. I mean, I think back to the Jonathan Taylor draft, and if Jonathan Taylor goes in the second round, I just have a feeling like QUINSHON is definitely like that an early to mid day 2 type of guy.
Yeah, I agree. So my player comp for him was David Montgomery. David Montgomery, I thought
Mhm.
was, for his size, definitely a physical downhill runner, but had some elusivity to his game. And, I think when John Judkins has some lateral ability, that's my comp for him, David Montgomery.
I think it's a great comp. I mean, they're very similar with their skill sets and how they actually run with the ball. I put a better version of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, I think of that last season, that championship year, Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran the same way. He was very intelligent with how he moved. It just hasn't transferred over to the NFL. But I think Quinshon Judkins has much more experience at the college level, playing in the SEC against some tough competition. So we've seen him battle tested in that situation. I think he could end up being what everybody thought Clyde Edwards-Helaire could be.
That's an interesting comp. I see, like, God, that guy's lateral ability was unbelievable. Clyde's Edward Hilaire.
Mhm.
Is he just
I
too
know.
freaking
And
small? I mean, is that,
I don't you know what?
or is
I
he
just
just
think it's
not
the
maybe?
experience. I mean, it was
Yeah.
just that 1 year, and I think Judkins, like I said, I think he's battle tested. I
Yeah.
think he could be what we wanted Clyde to be.
Yeah, I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire maybe just had too much wiggle and lateral movement. Maybe just
That's
wasn't
possible.
maybe
Yeah.
not just
He
decisive enough to get
Right.
upfield
Maybe he
instead
didn't
of,
commit where Judkins
yeah,
does.
it does exactly. So buy, sell, hold, baby. Are we going to have something different here? I'm going to start. All right. I have a hold. I'm not going to go out and buy Judkins, but I'm not going to sell him either. He's going to be a hold for me because I don't think you're going to have to pay tooth and nail. The only way, if I had didn't have a share of Judkins is if I'm in a complete rebuild, and I'm like maybe looking to, start over again. But I guess that doesn't really make sense too, because if you're in a rebuild, why would you want Judkins for next year? But I don't know. Is he a hold for you? I know he ain't no sell, or is he a sell? What is he?
Actually, I think I would sell him. And the only reason is, one, he is going to be competing with Travion Henderson this year. So I don't like the production we have to know is going to go down, like the production profile itself. The second part is, I don't know if the combine is actually going to help him or not,
Mm,
but he is still going to be a second or third round pick. Like that I can feel pretty confident with, but I might package him if it means that I can take a veteran that I feel a little bit better about, just because I already know how the NFL is devaluing players like this. And I think if I could package him and get like a Saquon, if I'm a contender, like I kind of think you said it perfectly. I wouldn't mind doing that. I think I might sell him,
yeah.
but I understand the whole. I'm maybe I'm also trying to be different, but there's a lot of hype around him. He's been one of the more productive running backs in college football at in the SEC. I think I could probably find someone that likes him and get something back I feel good about.
Yeah, especially if you're going to sell him to a rebuilding team, or a
Correct.
team that
Right.
you can sell him for an NFL asset. And now come to think of it, I had one share of Judkins that I sold last year for a Marion Hampton, I think, and Benjamin Hall from Michigan, and a Devy pick. Um,
Okay, so
so
I mean, there you go. And
yeah,
Hampton could turn out to be just as guy. I mean, the speed of Hampton, we'll talk about when we get to him.
yeah. Well, all right. Well, don't make it sound like I lost the trade now. All right.
No, no,
Anyway,
no. I'm
there
saying I
now.
was actually pretty impressed. So
Were you
we'll
okay?
get
I
to him.
thought maybe you're saying he
Yeah.
was slow as shit or something. All right, so there you guys go. There is our, basically our summer scouting, rookie profile review on QUINSHON Judkins, a player that you've got on your roster. I'm sure you're excited about.